So today I'm going to be doing a video on the oil pressure sensor. I have a 2008 Chevy Silverado, and this might be the same thing for a GMC or any other vehicle Chevy related that's having this problem. So I was having a problem with my oil pressure dropping down. It was normally right here in the middle, and then when I would stop and idle at a traffic light, it will go down to 0, and I would get the turn off a truck or vehicle immediately. And I was just having difficulty times trying to figure out exactly what it was, if it was my oil pressure sensor, if it was my oil pump, and it was just getting ridiculous already, where I was calling shops around, and they were like, first thing they wanted to go was, oh, it's your oil pump, it's your oil pump. So I was like, man, the oil pump alone was probably gonna be labor and materials was looking like at least $1,000. And I was like, no, well, I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the cheapest stuff that I could do. So I went ahead and replaced my oil pressure sensor. The first one I got was still bad. I ended up changing the oil pressure 3 times, but you could actually test the oil pressure sensors, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But just so you know that you could test out your oil pressure sensors as well, I'm going to show you exactly where my oil pressure is now at. So like I said before, I would turn it on and it'll be reading right. As long as I had it on park or on neutral, it'll be reading perfect. Right now I have it right there close to 40. If I step on it, it'll go up. So I'm getting way much better pressure. But before, like I said, as soon as I would put it on drive, it'll drop down all the way to 0. And in order for the light not to turn on, I would put it on neutral when I was parked at a light, just so the RPMs could go up and it could keep it from turning on the light that said turn off your engine. So that's going to be one indication that if you don't have it at 0, you know your oil pump's not bad. If your oil pump should be bad, you would automatically have 0 oil pressure. Or the other thing that happened to me is I ended up washing my engine after I got everything fixed and working, and water fell in the back of my oil pressure sensor, and it burned that one up. It basically wasn't good. As soon as I turned it on, the next day, because I ended up washing the truck, the engine, parked the truck. The next day, my RPMs went up to 80, and then matter of fact, it didn't even do anything. It was just at 0, and then it went up to 80. Then it stayed at 40 at idle. And as soon as I took off to drive it, it said turn off the engine already. It was not going off. There's no putting on neutral, nothing. It was gonna be like that. So the bottom line of it was that what I ended up doing to fix it was the pickup tube from the oil pan. There's a gasket on there. You need to change that gasket. I recommend changing the whole pickup tube with that oil, it's not the gasket, it's O-ring. It's an O-ring gasket that goes on that pickup tube. Mine was a red one. It could be a black one, but I think for this year model is gonna be the red one. I recommend also changing that whole tube. Before you even do any of this too, I would recommend doing a motor flush, because they're gonna take off that pan, and with that motor flush, you're gonna get all that gunk out, and it's gonna be coming out it's gonna stay at the bottom. So I recommend, you want to have a clean engine, do that motor flush. All that gunk is gonna be at the bottom, and trust me, even if you think you did the motor flush the first time and you did your oil change, that's what I thought. I ended up doing 2 flushes, thought everything was out. When it took off that pan, there was gunk in the bottom. So that's how all this started too, with that motor flush and everything. But if you're at least gonna remove that oil pan, I recommend to do that motor flush so it can replace all that gunk. And that's what it was. It was just that O-ring that was losing pressure. So don't get discouraged and thinking that it's your oil pump, because there was nothing I could find. Everybody was just like, they changed the sensors out, and right off the back they go to the oil pump. It wasn't my oil pump, and right now I'm gonna go and show you how you could test your oil pressure sensor to make sure that you have a good one, and how to tell from a good one and a bad one. All right, guys, so first off, this is what you're gonna need: ohm reader. You're gonna put it right here where this symbol is at. You could get these from Harbor Freight. They're not like 10 bucks, I believe. And this is the oil pressure sensor on my truck. If you're gonna replace these and you're gonna put a new one, make sure to get the filter. There's a filter that goes where this is at. Make sure you replace that too. And like I said, if you're gonna do that motor flush, it's recommended to change that, because it's gonna get a lot of gunk on there too. So make sure you replace that. This is a filter that the sensor that I have on my truck. So you see those two on the top, those are the ones that you're going to be testing. If they were to be working, like if you have a good one, so that's what I'm saying, don't go ahead and go buy one right off the back. You want to go ahead and test this. So when you start testing this, if it's a good one, you're not going to get any readings on it. That means you have a good one. If you have the numbers change on you, that's where you're going to know you have a bad one. So bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and try this for you so you can see what I'm talking about. So this one's a bad one, and this is the one that I told you that had the water in it. So just bear with me. So if you pay attention to the readings right there, you're going to see those numbers change. See? So that means it's open. So you're going to be getting readings on that. That means it's no good. If it was a good one, it would just stay at 1. Basically, the way you test it too, the other way you want to test if it's working, if you don't get no readings and you get like an air compressor and you blow some air in the bottom, those numbers will fluctuate, and that's letting you know that you have a good one. But this is all you need to test out that. I hope this video helps, because I know it did help me when I did all this research. I said the mechanic wanted to automatically go ahead and go straight to the oil pump. I ended up telling them, well, no, this is what I want to do first. I ended up spending about $350 on parts and labor. I ended up getting my own oil pan gasket. The pickup tube with the O-ring comes together from Amazon. I believe that was like 80 bucks. This sensor, this is the OEM sensor. This is the part. I ended up just going OEM all the way across, because I did get the AutoZone one. It was a good one, but I wasn't comfortable still. I was like, I'm just gonna go with the GM one. But this is the part number right there, and hopefully this video helps, because I know it can be nerve-wracking if you think your truck is actually gonna be wasting a lot of money on $1,000 on just changing the oil pump.